On February 26th, Castellum CTM reports quarterly earnings. And if you're paying attention and watching Castellum CTM, this isn't just another quarterly earnings report. Because what happens to this earnings call could directly impact you, whether you already own shares of the company, thinking about buying shares, or if you're just watching on the sidelines. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what you should be looking for, the numbers that actually matter, and the risks that investors should be paying attention to if they're not already doing so. I want to give you a quick disclaimer and just, again, a reminder. I am not a financial advisor. This is all purely for entertainment purposes and just for me trying to add value to the market in any way that I can. So please do your own due diligence and realize that you should make your own investing decisions to the best of your abilities, and you need to be accountable for your own portfolio. This is just my own personal analysis. Now, the reason that this earnings matters is because for microcap stocks like Castellum CTM, they do tend to be very sensitive when it comes to quarterly earnings. And also when you have things like small changes for a microcap stock, little changes can shift the sentiment. And again, the sentiment of a company, whether good or bad, can show pretty decent volatility and can have a swing to the up or the downside. Guidance is often more important than past numbers. So also depending on what forward guidance is stated in this quarterly report, whether if they do Q&A or if they just have a news article, whatever it is they do, that typically matters more than just the numbers alone. If you invest into CTM, what you should care about isn't just the revenue, it's the direction the company is going with its forward guidance. And I want to just go over three main things that are important for you to look out for when we look at this earnings call. First off, revenue growth. We have seen consistent revenue growth quarter over quarter and year over the past years and the past quarters. And they had their first profitable quarter, I believe in Q3, I believe was in October. And it was their first profitable quarter of the history of the company, and that was an achievement. But again, we have to, when it comes to profitability and margins, microcap stocks often struggle here. And the profitable quarter we had last quarter, was that just a one-time fluke, or is that going to continue to the upside and continue to grow? And backtracking what I said about revenue specifically, you want to look at the type of revenue, whether if it's stalled, if it's growing exponentially, growing slightly, or if it's diminishing. You got to look into all those things. I've gone over revenue growth and the profitability and margins. Now we got to discuss guidance and forward commentary. When it comes to Castellum CTM, what you really want to hear is confidence about upcoming contracts or blockchain growth or backlog growth. Because again, as we have mentioned, that Castellum CTM does have a $216 million backlog with a 5-year runway with the prime U.S. military contracts with the Navy and other military contracts from the U.S. government. And they were very decent contracts, and they do have a decent pipeline. We got to make sure to see in this quarterly earnings how well they're going to show confidence, whether or not the company continue to get more contracts, and if they continue to add on to their backlog and give this company more financial leverage. Now that we've gone over the three things that you should be looking at, let's go over the bull case of this company. If earnings do show improving revenue, better margins, and strong guidance, you could see increased investor interest into the stock specifically. Because again, we don't marry a stock, but you got to put the numbers in play and the stats, and you got to take that into equation. If all those things are showing bullish scenarios, is giving you signs of confidence, if you're seeing the staff members and the CEO and the boards of directors showing confidence, then that's also another good indicator that there's more upside to this stock and future potential for it to go to the upside. Now, when it comes to the bear case specifically, because again, you got to take the risk into play. We don't marry a stock. You got to understand that if the growth stalls or forward guidance seems a little bit unconfident, you need to be prepared for volatility. I'm not saying panic sell. We don't panic sell here on this channel, and I hope nobody that watches panic sells either. But what I am saying to you, though, is if you do get the worst case scenario, first off, you need to have a proper risk management plan. You need to be okay with volatility if this is the type of stock you're investing in, or if this is not something that your stomach can deal with, then you should avoid it at all costs. You got to do what's best for your psychological risk patterns, and you also got to do what's best for your what fits your thesis and what fits your risk parameters in your portfolio. Don't be all in this stock, or don't have this be a big holding of your entire portfolio if you're not able to handle that. Now, as I did also mention, as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm not just a swing trader and I'm not a day trader. I have day traded and I will get back into that, but as of right now, we focus more on long-term investing. This quarter specifically does not determine the fate of this company, but it does have a damn well possibility to change the sentiment of this company, especially with the moves they've been doing. They're moving to phase 3 and them continuing to execute on their plan quarter after quarter and year over year. But regardless, this really does, they do really have the potential to change the sentiment when it comes to defense spending, government contracts, and industry consolidation, because if they continue to position themselves in the ways that they have, they could end up being one of the big players in this market that continues to get funding, as we know with the Big Beautiful Bill that happened last year with Donald Trump. And it's in a growing sector, and they implement AI, which is a very innovative and something that we are going to continue to see in the future. So basically what I'm trying to get at is, if you're looking at CTM as a long-term play, this quarter may not define everything, but it can change the perception, as I had said. If you were to summarize everything I said, that's all I'm trying to get about when it comes to this quarter specifically. And with that being said, guys, if you want more deep dives on under-the-radar defense stocks like this, like CTM, please subscribe, hit the like button, and please look at my other previous videos. I'll be more than happy for you guys to view my other videos to get the information you can. And also, please feel free to join my free community in the Prophecy AI app at InvestQ, where we do more deep dives and I post my own content trying to help add value to any beginner and intermediate investors learning to continue to learn. So with that being said, guys, InvestQ out, stay safe, and continue to keep making money, guys. See you all in the next video.